Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our March community update. A lot has been happening between February and now. A lot happening in terms of the engagement that we're having with the number of arrivals that we continue to see that we're going to talk a bit about today. But I did spend, I was in Washington, D.C. Last week and spent some time with other resettlement agencies across the country, really looking at several things. One is just the capacity that has been built by the Biden administration in terms of not only refugee arrivals, because we have seen the pipeline for refugee arrivals increased significantly. We are now projected to receive as a country 92,000 refugees this year, bearing in mind that the presidential mandate, which the presidential determination for the projected refugees for this year or this fiscal year is 125,000. So we're still below the projections, and the White House is particular that they would love to reach 125,000. But we also know that it is more than just the refugee arrivals, but that there has been an extension of pathways for people to come to the United States and reside in the United States, that it is more than 125,000. We project that is going to be about 700,000. And this is because of the number of parolee programs that are being run. So the parolee program for Afghans, for Ukrainians, for the four countries in Latin America, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, that has increased significantly opportunities for people to have pathways to be resident in the United States and maybe eventually even become citizens. So all agencies are hard at work trying to make sure that we are able to provide services to these people, but also wanting to just highlight the increased need for support to refugees, not only in St. Louis, but also around the world, because we're seeing an increase in the number of refugees, whether it's in Europe, in Ukraine, in Sudan, in the Congo. We're continuing to see an increase in people being displaced as a result of gang violence in several Central and South American countries. So we're going to be at work for a very long time, putting everyone on notice that there's a lot of opportunities here for us as a community to continue to position ourselves as welcoming. We share the same challenges. We're not the only city in America that is trying to position itself as welcoming. We run into the same problems. Housing continues to be a challenge across the country, like it is here. Limited in resources, human capacity to be able to provide the best quality service that we all want to provide so people can come here and live in dignity. So those challenges are not peculiar to St. Louis. But I think here in St. Louis, one advantage that we have is to have a group like this that comes together every month, thinking about how we can all work together, how we can all support one another to ensure that St. Louis provides the support that is needed for people who come here from across the world. So I want to thank you all for really helping St. Louis stand out. We're going to talk a little bit about how we can do more as we are seeing an increase in the number of arrivals. Yesterday, we ran into our friends from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in Jefferson City. We were out in Jefferson City, Blake Hamilton and myself, really just engaging the senators there giving them a lot more, a better sense of the work that we're doing and the value that is bringing not only to St. Louis, but also across the state of Missouri. And I must say that in as much as Jefferson City has its own challenges, we still have people there that are receptive to the work that we do, appreciate the work that we do, and we really want to use every opportunity to educate anybody about our work and why it's important for us to continue to provide this work. And so, hopeful on the one hand, challenging on the other hand, with some of the conversations that are taking place out there in Jefferson City. But I hope here in St. Louis we'll continue to build, we'll continue to educate people at every opportunity. So thank you very much again for being here. I just wanted to share those at the opening of this. Our agenda for today is going to cover first, we're going to have our resettlement update and walk-ins. We're also going to touch on, just give an update on our Latino Outreach Initiative and the Afghan Support Program. But we also really wanted to highlight our workforce development job placement, because as we bring in people, we want them to start, restoring that dignity that they can provide for themselves. And so our workforce development team has really been hard at work. I know we talk too often about the arrival process and providing shelter and the basic needs that people have. But we have to build on that. We really need to invest on supporting them to be able to integrate the workforce and be able to earn a living with dignity. So we thought we should highlight what has been going on in terms of our workforce development as we are seeing this increase in arrivals. Then we also are going to have just some updates on volunteer and donation opportunities to match the increase in arrivals, and then the usual community shout out on upcoming events and opportunities to get involved. So we go along, we're also going to be open to take any questions, and we will provide answers as needed. With that in mind, I know our director of resettlement is traveling now in Washington, D.C. And so I'm going to turn this over to the Vice President for Client Care here at the International Institute, Ariel Burgess. She's going to talk about our resettlement update.
Thank you very much, R.A. Hello, everybody. It's good to be able to join on this call. Right now, as you can see from the numbers, in February, we are very, very busy in resettlement. I do want to say that since January, we have been resettling over 100 people a month. In January, we resettled 123 individuals, and now in February, we're resettling 136 individuals. I really do expect that through the rest of this fiscal year, so through September, that we will continue to resettle in excess of 100 people a month. Very likely, as we go into the summer months, June, July, August, and September, which are typically called our busier months, we will most probably be resettling even more than 140 people a month. We're getting a lot of interest to resettle as many people as we possibly can before the end of the fiscal year. And between us, most probably before the election takes place in November. That's all I'm going to say.
I didn't want to say that.
I will get on the soapbox. But you can see for February, we had 46 cases. The majority of our clients are coming from Africa, and we're getting very diverse Africans. We're getting people from the Ivory Coast, Central Africa Republic, both Sudan and South Sudan, Burkina Faso. So those are some new nationalities that we have not resettled in the past. Of course, we also are resettling individuals that we've resettled in the past, such as Congolese and Afghanis and Syrians. and the like. My real message is that please be prepared, both as a community, as volunteers, as staff, that we're most probably going to resettle at least 120 people a month through May, and then it'll be an uptick in arrivals starting in June, maybe as many as 150 or more starting in June. And with that, I will say that the one thing that desperately we could use assistance with is Aldi food cards. Because FSD is slow in processing food stamp applications, many of our new arrivals are not getting their food stamps until 3, maybe even 4 weeks after they arrive. So they're in need of food cards from particularly Aldi's, but certainly Schnucks would also do. So I put out there into the community, any donations of food cards would greatly go a long way for our families and making sure that they're able to put food on the table. Any questions?
Yes. Seeing that, Ari, do you want to cover walk-ins as well?
Sure. I literally, because we are so busy in resettlement, we're also busy in walk-ins. Typically, what'll happen is somebody who's resettled to St. Louis will call their relative who maybe has been resettled in Virginia and say, "Hey, come on down to St. Louis," and they do. So we're very busy on all ends of welcoming new arrivals to St. Louis. As you can see, in February, we had 7 Venezuelans walk in and request services, 19 Afghans, 9 Haitians, and 9 Cubans, of which it's 16 cases and 44 individuals. In March, we're almost matching that, and we're only halfway through March. We have 15 cases and 28 individuals asking for assistance with the Institute. So we're very busy on that end. I'm sorry, I have people walking into my office. We just were told, just give you a little taste of resettlement. We were just told that we have a client at the airport. So I'm now going to try and go pick up the client. But yes, anybody who is in the community and is foreign born, they can come to the Institute and that go through our intake assessment process so that we can determine how best we could assist them, whether that's giving them community referrals or enrolling them into a program that we have here for employment or social work or education or the like. We want to make sure that individuals know that they can come to the Institute to receive services.
Great. Thank you very much, Ariel. Really.
I have to check out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Go for that. So really key takeaways here is just seeing the wide variety of arrivals that are coming from very different countries, but also this walk-ins, which in some cases are people coming from other cities because of what they've heard is happening in St. Louis. And so that means an increase in the number of arrivals technically for the St. Louis community. So we're really hard at work trying to ensure that people are welcomed here. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about our Latino Outreach Initiative, and we're going to talk about some of the arrivals that we've been seeing. Carlos, the vice president here at the Institute in charge of the Latino Outreach, is out in the field. He was or is down in Austin for the South by Southwest, in which we will talk a little bit about why he was down there. But he's also engaging other cities with this Latino outreach. But Bernice Forrest is here, who is the program manager for the Latino Outreach Initiative. Bernice?
Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I just want to give a quick update of the Latino Outreach initiative and what we have been doing for the last month or so. So we have been receiving clients from Chicago. We've received a total of 9 individuals from that office. Generally, when they come in from Chicago, we help them look for employment and that sort of things. But then we also have New York, where we've received 11 individuals, and those individuals have come in with already ready to go with employment. We are working with the Tent Partnership, and then that is a group here in St. Louis that works at the airport. And so they are the clients that come in through that program, they are ready to go and have employment. And so we help them with registering their children in school and just getting them metro passes so that they can be ready for work. We also do that for the people that we are bringing from Chicago and everywhere else. But the people from New York kind of have an advantage that they already come in with employment. And we also have had kind of like what resettlement was talking about, walk-ins. We have here on the slide St. Louis, and those are families or individuals that are coming in to our office because they've heard about this program and are coming in to ask for about the program. And so we've actually housed 2 families that were kind of in kind of not great situations, kind of toxic situations, and we were able to house them. But we've also helped with getting work authorization for clients here in St. Louis. And so generally, the average family for people that we are bringing in and recruiting from other cities and also here in St. Louis is about 3 individuals per household. Mostly we're getting families and very few singles. Now that we've worked with Chicago and New York, we are also recruiting in Boston, and we are getting 2 families next week from Boston. And so now we've kind of we have kind of a sheet and different ways we receive people, but we've kind of gone through our Chicago list and our New York list, and then we are now working with Boston, and then we'll recycle back to those Chicago and New York once we settle Boston in. But we also, similar to resettlement, we are also asking for gift cards because we do need hygiene products for our families, and that's what we're kind of seeing a little bit of that we need some help in that area. So we also would love some gift cards if people are interested in that. Does anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay. And like Ari said, Carlos is currently out in South by Southwest, and he is kind of sharing with people the wonderful things that we are doing here in the Midwest. And he's also recruiting in Denver, and then I think he's going to be recruiting in Kansas as well. And it looks like he will be taking his first international trip to Cuba.
Okay, thank you so much. Any questions for Bernice with reference to the Latino Outreach Initiative? Seeing none, housing, if you can go back to that slide. Housing,
Can I say
yes.
something,
Oh,
Ari? I'm
yes.
sorry. I didn't
Yes.
get my voice out there fast
Oh,
enough.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, thank you, Ari. This is Martha Garcia Campan with the Hispanic Chamber. I thought I'd share a little bit of a success story with you all, and then also make sure everybody knows that the Hispanic Chamber is going to be receiving food donations at our business after hours next week for the Latino Outreach Program in support of the families that are coming in. I wanted to let you know about that, but a success story of one of the early Venezuelan families who, I just learned this, who arrived on a Sunday, attended our job fair on a Thursday, and started a new job the following week. So that's just a remarkable story that I think this audience would appreciate hearing about. And that makes me very happy for them.
Thank you very much, Martha. It's good to hear stories like that. It's heartwarming and gratifying with the work that we do. Sal, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, Barry, thank you.
Brother
This is
Sal, yeah.
this is a great initiative, and obviously getting a lot of community support. I just wanted to, and I posted in the chat my contact information. We're currently, the Laborers International is currently working with the Afghani community, and hopefully we connect with more people at the International Institute on workforce development and construction. And of course, we're continuing to hire from the Latino community. We're being very aggressive, along with our we joined the Hispanic Chamber, and look forward to working with Martha for Latino, Spanish-speaking, English-speaking people for opportunities as union labor with our union. So again, I thank you for the work that you're doing and the opportunities to collaborate. My contact information is in the chat.
Thank you very much, Sal. I'm glad. I know Anna, who is Director for Workforces, on this call, and we'll be talking shortly, but absolutely would love to stay in contact with you to continue those conversations. Angel.
Yeah, good. Good morning, everyone. So I just have a question. Do you guys happen to have like a skill set of all the newcomers under this program? Because from a Telemundo perspective, we're getting a lot of insight from and we're helping and supporting different employers and companies and businesses from their recruitment strategic plans from an advertising perspective. So we have a lot of insights of like a bunch of, opportunities for employment. So we would be happy to just allocate or help you guys to connect those people or the newcomers, Hispanics people, to those specific companies or organizations that are looking for to hire. So if you have a skill set, I think that will be a great information for you to share maybe with me, so that way we can, work something out in a way that we can, allocate those people specifically to look organizations that are requiring that specific skill set.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Now, that's something that we would love to do. I think I don't know, Ben, say whether you have a response to that, but I also would love for you to connect, or to connect you with our workforce director, Anna, who's going to be actually on this call for a follow-up on some of those opportunities that we're seeing.
Thank you, Angel. And I would agree with RA. Like, we would love to have those collaborations. And definitely that's something that I think Anna has to also have be part of that conversation. But yeah, we would definitely like to continue that conversation.
Yeah. Great. Well, we can't do this without housing. So we are looking, I actually looked at the 4 to 5 bedroom units. 1 to 2 bedrooms, I think we have unlocked some potential in the city, but it's that 4 to 5 bedroom units that's a challenge for us. So any opportunities there, direct people our way. Ideally, we want people to be located in South City just for being able to provide them services, but not limited to. But we have the contact there of our housing coordinator. I think we're also going to be adding another person on the team, in our housing team, just because of the increased need. But we also have Alexia, who is also supporting primarily the Latino Outreach Initiative. Is a resource coordinator. So if anyone with opportunities for housing can also share that. We also have some other needs with the increased number of arrivals. And this is particular, but not only specific to the Latino outreach, but we just need things like beddings, kitchenware, as Denise has said, hygienic supplies. Those are all things that are needed as we're seeing an increase in arrivals. I think these things are also listed on our Amazon shopping wish list that people can also order there directly. But these are the kind of things that one could share with employees of your organization, and the little contributions can really make a difference for people. So that's about it. We're also looking for more referrals for organizations that would want to step up. I'm glad to hear that the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is going to be doing a food drive. Any organizations within the community that can support us close some of these gaps, whether it's food that can be provided, beddings that can be provided, are all things that we would appreciate. Any organization that is doing anything to support our new arrivals. Next up, we're going to have the director of our workforce solutions here, who is Anna Hall. She's going to talk about how we're supporting these new arrivals and getting them to work.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, colleagues and community partners. It's great to be on this call and have an opportunity to share a bit about what the Workforce Solutions Department is doing for the large number of arrivals that we have coming right now. I want to kind of give you a brief overview of what those services look like through our department, both in the supportive education that we're providing to new arrivals around seeking work in the United States, but then also, of course, connecting them to job placement. So overall, the goal of our department is to support clients to find employment as a means to self-sufficiency and financial success, so that they are able to provide for their families and grow a life here in the United States. As Ariel mentioned earlier, any arrival that's coming through the International Institute goes through what we have as an initial intake process. And once they are referred to an employment program, which I will talk about a little bit, they get connected to our job readiness classes. This is a class we have every single week for new arrivals. It's 2 days a week, a 4-hour curriculum that reviews professional culture in the United States, understanding expectations of a work environment, communicating with supervisors, employment law in this country, how to advocate for themselves around documentation. We also review pay stubs and why a $14 an hour job actually isn't exactly $14 an hour at the end of a pay period. We review taxes and why it's important for individuals to understand what is happening when taxes are taken out of their pay. We also have a job interview class. I know that has been broadcasted many times on this call about a volunteer opportunity to connect with clients and sit one-on-one with individuals to guide them through what a job interview looks like in this country. After they do that class, they meet with our employment caseworkers on our team to have what we call our job search meeting. This is really analyzing, to your question, Angel, around skills and background, and what is it that you want to do here? What do you see yourself doing? And what do you definitely not see yourself doing in employment? We care a lot about finding a good fit for employment for each individual. We also have job developers on our team that are working with employers in our community, making those connections and finding quality jobs that are a good fit for our clients. One of the challenges that we see continually is transportation. Access to good jobs that are outside of the public transportation system. We are advocating for the growth of new lines through Metro and have also partnered with them to provide some great bus training opportunities on site for our new arrivals. Once they get connected to a job developer, that individual is connecting them to an employer and walking them through that process to start their application, interview, all of the drug screening that goes into getting prepared for the placement and to start a job. Here are a few of the programs that we have in Workforce Solutions. Matching grant, we have a Refugee Supportive Services, we have a Missouri Refugee Temporary Assistance Connection Program. This specifically works with families that are receiving TANF and providing them extra support around that particular benefit, maintaining that benefit, and also working toward employment goals. The last one I want to touch on, this is called Empower. This is a new program that we are starting and getting really excited to kick off. This is through funding from the state of Missouri that is set aside money to help with refugee supportive services in areas of education, transportation, and employment. So through the Workforce Solutions Department, we are hiring 2 new staff, one of which we are calling the Employment Support Coordinator. And I'm really excited to grow this particular position that will work with clients in career pathways and development. They will be a resource for referrals to trainings, apprenticeships, continuing education opportunities for folks that are setting goals around career advancement within this country. Outside of our focus in Workforce Solutions is finding that first job as quickly as possible. We're also hiring a job readiness support coordinator. They will be overseeing a lot of the educational opportunities that I mentioned as part of the workflow of support that is in finding that first job. Through Empower, we are going to offer this really wonderful listings of offerings here, one of which is licenses for an online learning platform called NGen. This is an upskilling platform, so individuals will have an opportunity in their own time remotely to be learning English focused on skills in a variety of industries, manufacturing, healthcare, hospitality, for example. One of the new staff we'll be hiring will be overseeing these licenses for more English language learning. We are going to have new computers and new software in the International Institute's computer lab. With that, we will have new offerings for computer literacy classes. We are also very excited to be offering a driver's education course with the English language learning focus for driver's ed. And that includes a driving simulator experience as part of that class. Just next week, we will have the simulator delivered. We are getting that installed and are excited to be offering that opportunity. Lastly, through the Empower program as well, we will have an English for GED. This is also an area that we've been talking a long time for building, and I'm excited to use the funds for this program. So through the education department as well, there are 3 new part-time positions being hired to facilitate and engage clients within these particular areas. And lastly, wanted to give a brief overview of some of the placements that we've had. These numbers are from January of last year through now to give a bit of an update. Total placements 327. The average wage is $16.60. So we're averaging about 24 placements a month, and a high majority, 93% are full-time. That is our goal, is to find employers that offer full-time positions and offer benefits to our clients. Within those 327 documented placements, over 100 different employers that we're working with. And just an average age, wanted to provide that as well, 37 years old is the average age of those we're placing. Throughout the year, these are the top positions, the titles that we are placing individuals in, the majority of which are manufacturing roles, machine operator, manufacturing assistant, packaging, warehouse positions. We have some connections with sewing operator roles, of course, housekeeping, hospitality positions. And we work with a bakery that has hired a number of folks as bakers. I wanted to provide just an overview of some of the work that we've been doing, and welcome any questions I would love to connect with Sal and Angel about some of the specific ideas that you have of employers that you want to connect us to, and we are all ears. So I've written both of your names down, and Sal, I copied and pasted your contact information.
Thank you very much, Anna, for that comprehensive update. Any questions for Anna? Hearing or seeing none. Thank you very much, Anna. I know you and your team have been hard at work trying to get people into these positions. It's also good to see that average wage ticking up. I know it had ticked down a little bit, but ticking up. So people are, and in many cases, most of the jobs that we're doing, I know you all are looking for jobs with benefits so that people can have benefits as well. So that's actually really, really good. This is quite unusual, right? But it looks like this is the new normal for a period of time, that we're going to have really opportunities out there and really not enough people. But the more people we see, the more we need to invest to build capacity. I'm glad we're looking to hire some more people to join the team. I will now go on to talk about the upcoming community bazaar. I know our director of community engagement, Kelly, is out. So I'm going to turn this over to the director of economic development, Carlos Suarez, to talk about our community bazaar.
Thanks, Ari. As we host our bi-weekly community bazaar, we're going to be hosting our next one on Friday, March 22nd. I just want to remind everyone it's a great way for the public to come out and really witness the work that we have going on here at the International Institute. We will be having a client providing lunch is Mediterranean cuisine by Sunrise Dough. So it's a great opportunity for the public to kind of come out, spend time. We'll have some music and entertainment. And also it's a great opportunity for clients to access food resources such as staple items like flour, rice, cooking oil. And for those that want to volunteer, it's also a volunteer opportunity with our bi-weekly community bazaar. We do have other updates, or other bazaars on the calendar for April 5th and 19th, just to put on your radar. They are every other Friday, happening throughout the rest of the year through the beginning of December. So just be on the lookout for other updates. And they are currently inside in our cafeteria downstairs. And we will be moving outside to our front lawn here, and the plan is early May, and also welcoming back the St. Louis Metro Market with their mobile bus to provide access to fresh produce and culturally sensitive items such as halal meat. So it'll be a great addition to the bazaar, community bazaar experience. I will hand it back to you, Ari, to talk about 314 Day.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Carlos. In reference to the bazaar, I'm asking anybody if you eat out once a week or one, please plan for it to fall on a bazaar day. We're trying to identify the small businesses and provide support to them in the community. So if you can, it's also a good time to come out and learn a little bit more about our work and actually see in this physical space some of the exciting things that are happening here. Tomorrow is 314 Day. It's a day unique to St. Louis, and quite a busy day in terms of activities going on. And you know, I'm going to share some updates here, but if I know our director of communications, Chrissy, is on the call, she may want to add some information with reference to these upcoming events. But tomorrow we would have what we're calling St. Louis 101. This is hosted by the St. Louis Mosaic Project. It's going to be online. People can register for that. There's the link. It's going to be begin at 10:15 and will go until 11:15. And the executive director of the St. Louis Mosaic Project, Betsy Cohen, and I are going to be sharing some updates about what's happening with the newcomers that are coming into our community. We did this 1 year ago, and you know, it's time for us to really update the community. So use the QR code, use the link, register for this. It's virtual. Everybody is invited to attend that great conversation that we're looking forward to. We are also going to have 2 other activities tomorrow. So we're going to have another activity tomorrow, sorry, which is hosted by PBS, 9 PBS, and it's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. It's an in-person event. Tickets are free, and you can register using the Eventbrite link. Did I cover all of that, what needs to be shared, Chrissy, with reference to this?
Yeah, absolutely. Those registration links are really the important thing. Both of those events are free. Again, the morning one is virtual, the evening one is in person, but they're just opportunities for us to participate in this community-wide celebration. 3 and 4 days, an annual event to allow all of us to show our love and our pride for the city, for this community. And our participation means that we're being able to bring immigrants and refugees into that conversation and making sure that everyone in our community really is represented. So we just encourage you all to attend, to participate. There's a lot going on tomorrow. We know that your attention is going to be stretched, but we hope that if you have the time that we get to see you at one of these events.
Another upcoming event that we have is our Race for Refugees. The Race for Refugees for the first time is going to be done in April. Typically, it's usually done in November, cold, but this time around, we're doing it in April. And the Race for Refugees is really one way to raise awareness about who refugees are and why we need to support them. And as I said at the beginning of this program, there's never been a time in the world where we've had so many refugees, not the first 2 world wars. Now, over 110 million people have been displaced around the world, and that just continues to increase. There's a need for us to raise awareness, but also a need for us to show support and find more resources to help, as you can see, or as you may have heard, from the number of arrivals that we're having. It's also a great opportunity to come out and be healthy. We at the International Institute have a running team here. I hope they are going to show up for the race. But anyone is invited to run, walk for refugees. Let's do that together. So there is a link to register for it. It's April 21 coming up. So start training if you're going to be part of it. Carlos, I'm going to turn this back to you to talk about the next item on the agenda, the free tax preparations. And I would also, after Carlos, Carlos, who's our Director of Economic Development, I'm going to turn it over to Adina, who's going to talk about our Women's Day event that took place here at the Institute. So Carlos, please go ahead.
Thanks. And just as a reminder, everyone, as part of our economic development services that we provide here through the International Institute, we are hosting a free tax preparation site here that's in partnership with the AARP and VITA, or Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. This is done for individuals through appointment. So by calling the number here below at 314-655-0929, individuals can schedule appointments to have their taxes done, federal and state taxes. And the appointments are in person here Tuesdays and Wednesdays up until April 10th. There are still appointments available. And if those days and times don't work for individuals in the community, then the United Way can be called, and there's other sites as a part of this free tax preparation services that can be utilized. But this is open to not only clients and individuals that are coming here through the International Institute, but for the entire St. Louis community and region. So, feel free to spread the word about this amazing resource, and this will continue again through April 10th, in-person appointments on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and call to schedule an appointment in advance. So thank you, and I'll hand it over to Adina.
Thanks, Carlos. So on Sunday, March 10th, the International Institute Center for Multicultural Excellence partnered with the St. Louis Women's March to host a women's tea party. And it was an incredibly successful event. We had over 80 attendees. It was an incredibly diverse audience. A lot of new folks to the Institute found out about it just through Eventbrite. So we expanded our audience. We had 10 women-owned small businesses donate items, treats for the event. And then we had 2 market vendors who were able to come and pop up and sell product during the event. And Black Coffee provided coffee, tea, and iced coffee at the event. We also had a live musical performance by local artist Aloha Michelle, and DJ Maxa DJ'd the event for us. And it was just a beautiful event. It's been fun to see on LinkedIn new connections being made and folks wanting to get involved with the work happening here at the Institute. Ari, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much, Adina. I failed to say that Adina is our the new director of the Festival of Nations here, and is teaming up here with our director of multicultural affairs to support women in this community. All through the month of March, we're celebrating women, and we at the International Institute wanted to make sure that we did something to celebrate women. And we will continue to highlight the work of women all through the month of March through our various platforms that we have. Coming up, just shout outs that we have. We really want to thank the Mercy Hospital. Mercy Hospital did volunteer at our community bazaar, and we want to thank them for doing that. We also want to give a big shout out to Petonville French class that hosted a donation drive on behalf of the Institute. We appreciate any support that we can get from any community organization. You all have heard about the increasing need. So if you have any leads, any connections to any group of people that can do something to support our work, we would appreciate this. How can you help? Well, you can help in many, many ways. Some things may seem very little, but actually make a difference. Things like providing light bulbs, plates, pillows, toilet paper, baking dishes. But as has been highlighted here by Ariel and Bernice, we are always looking for grocery gift cards, and in some cases, Visa gift cards to be able to support our new arrivals. And we're looking at gift cards from Target, from Aldi's, from Walmart, Schnucks. We also have a fund here which we call the Tau Fund, which essentially is a fund that goes to support our new arrivals in any way possible, gives us flexibility to provide needs that are specific to some cases. We have our wish list up on Target and Walmart. So using the QR code, you could be able to see some of the things that people can order to donate items for us to help our new arrivals. Besides what you can do to donate, we're also always looking for volunteers. This pre-arrival grocery shopping is really because of the huge arrival we have a big need for pre-arrival grocery shopping, and anyone can do this. This is the risk level of getting things wrong here is very, very low. Anybody can step into this, but it gives you a sense or opens up a window. And I also say this to the staff at the International Institute. Anyone can help with this. We're constantly looking for more resources. So we're looking for people who may want to host a fundraiser to be able to support our new arrivals, or host a donation drive like Pattonville did. There is a need here every Friday morning, not every Friday, but some Friday mornings, for us to do mock interviews as we think about it. Next Friday will be March 15th. There is an opportunity for that from 9:15 to 12:15 p.m. So anyone can also come to help as we talk about people joining the workforce. This is one area in which individuals can be of support to assist our clients navigate the interview process, many of whom do not have experiences here in the US. To volunteer, there's a link here, which we're going to share this slide, but using the link, which I'm sure that one of our team members will drop in the, you can volunteer accordingly. With that, I would say if you need more information, you could contact any one of the people listed. You can contact for our youth programming, Catherine, for volunteer program, Maxwell, in-kind donation, Semery, housing, Abdul. But you can reach any of them at this. Now, Semery's email address is not correct there, but we're going to update that before we send out the slides to everybody. With that, I will stop here and ask if there are any questions. Thank you so much for your time, being here and just hearing this update. I hope that it enables you to think about ways in which you could support this community work that we're doing. The International Institute alone cannot do the work that we have to do as a community. So we appreciate any support. It was also great to see our friends from the Chamber of Commerce down in Jefferson City yesterday. We were all there for the same purpose, trying to make Missouri and St. Louis a more welcoming place for our new arrivals. So thank you very much, Martha, and your team for joining with us yesterday. And thanks to everyone for being here and for supporting our work. We'll be back next month, if there are no questions, to share about a lot more updates on what's going on. Thank you.